Imagine living in a world where every move you make is watched, photographed, and judged. Where your freedom comes at the cost of fame. In this world, one person stands between you and chaos, your bodyguard. But what if that bodyguard becomes more than just your protector? Welcome to a story where danger, desire, and duty collide. Most of us see celebrities as larger than life, surrounded by lights, luxury, and endless attention. But behind those red carpets and flashing cameras is a very different reality, one filled with constant threats, intense pressure, and the desperate need for safety. That's where elite private security firms step in. You've heard the names. Maybe. But what really happens behind those tinted black SUVs? What kind of training goes into guarding the lives of the world's most recognizable people? And what happens when the line between professional and personal starts to blur? In today's video, we're diving into the high-stakes world of celebrity security. From the secrets of top private firms to real-life stories of romance between stars and their protectors, including a few that never made the headlines, we'll uncover how trust, loyalty, and vulnerability can sometimes spark unexpected connections. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Tucked inside this web of bodyguards and billion-dollar contracts is a love story. A fictional tale, yes, but one inspired by truth, a powerful and emotional journey between two men, from strangers on opposite sides of fame to something much deeper. Through their story, you'll see just how complicated and beautiful life behind the scenes can be. You'll learn which security firms the biggest celebrities trust with their lives, how bodyguards are trained to handle everything from stalkers to obsessed fans, and why the job is much more than just standing beside someone in sunglasses. You'll also discover how a job that demands emotional distance can sometimes lead to the most unexpected connections. Stay with us until the very end to experience the full arc of this emotional roller coaster, and to find out which true stories helped inspire the fictional romance we're about to share. Whether you're here for the industry insights or the love story that unfolds against the odds, this is one journey you won't want to miss. Welcome to the channel. If you love uncovering the stories hidden behind fame, love, and protection, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss out. Let's dive in. Being a celebrity isn't just about glam, flashing lights, or walking red carpets. It's a life lived in the spotlight, a spotlight that doesn't switch off when the cameras stop rolling. Fame brings fortune, yes. But it also brings danger. And that's where private security becomes more than a luxury, it becomes a lifeline. Celebrities today deal with more than just nosy paparazzi. They face obsessive fans, online stalkers, blackmail threats, and even people with dangerous intentions. Some fans believe they have a personal connection with celebrities they've never met, and for a few, that obsession turns into something harmful. That's why personal security isn't just about looking tough in a suit, it's about being trained, alert, and ready to react in seconds. It's about protecting lives. Take for example, the terrifying moment when Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint in her Paris hotel room back in 2016. Her bodyguard had stepped away for just a short time, and within minutes, masked intruders broke into her room, tied her up, and stole over $10 million worth of jewelry. That incident became a loud wake-up call for celebrities and the security world alike. It showed just how vulnerable even the biggest stars can be when the protection layer slips for even a moment. Then there was the tragic story of John Lennon, one of the most iconic musicians in history, gunned down outside his apartment by an obsessed fan. That happened in 1980, but it still echoes through time as a reminder that fame can attract dangerous people. And more recently, Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift both had to deal with stalkers breaking into their homes, even sleeping in their beds or sending threatening letters. These aren't rare cases. They are real threats faced every single day by people in the public eye. Because of these risks, high-profile celebrities often hire specialized security teams to keep them safe not only during public appearances but also in private spaces like their homes, hotels, and even while traveling. These aren't your average mall cops. We're talking about elite professionals, many of whom have backgrounds in military, law enforcement, or intelligence, who understand how to detect a threat before it happens, how to plan every move, and how to disappear into the background while always watching. So, who do the rich and famous trust to protect them? One of the most respected names in the industry is Gavin de Becker and Associates. For over 4 decades, they've quietly guarded the lives of the world's most famous and powerful people. Their focus goes beyond just brawn. They're known for using advanced threat assessment strategies, behavioral science, and data analysis to predict and prevent harm. They don't just respond to threats, they see them coming. Another major player is Guardian Professional Security. Based in the eastern US, this firm has built a reputation for being one of the largest celebrity protection agencies in the country. They specialize in personal bodyguard services, crowd control, and customized security planning for high-profile clients. Their agents are often former military or law enforcement personnel who are highly trained in handling volatile situations, calmly, quickly, and discreetly. There's also the World Protection Group, a firm known for their blend of traditional security tactics and high-tech surveillance. They offer everything from executive protection to drone monitoring and cyber threat analysis. In today's digital age, threats don't always come from the street. They can come from someone on the other side of the world, hiding behind a screen. That's why modern bodyguards need to be as sharp with technology as they are in physical defense. What's interesting is how the job of a bodyguard has evolved. It's not just about standing next to a celeb with arms crossed and sunglasses on. It's about becoming a trusted part of someone's inner circle. A good bodyguard has to be invisible when needed, but ready to take control at a moment's notice. They often know everything, where their client is going, who they're meeting, and even personal information most friends wouldn't know. It's a job that demands both physical strength and emotional intelligence. And sometimes, in the middle of all this closeness, a different kind of bond begins to form. Because when you're constantly together, protecting someone through tense, emotional, or even life-threatening moments, connection is inevitable. Many bodyguards spend more time with their clients than anyone else in their lives. The job calls for absolute trust, and in some rare cases, that trust grows into something deeper. But before we get into the story of Alex and Ryan, a fictional romance that captures the very real emotions behind the bodyguard-celebrity dynamic, it's important to understand just how high the stakes really are in this world. The risks are real, the danger never sleeps, and the people who sign up to stand in the way of those threats. They're not just bodyguards. They're protectors, planners, and sometimes, something more. Stick around, because next, we'll explore real-life romances between celebrities and the people hired to keep them safe. Some you may know, others the tabloids missed. Either way, you're about to see how blurry the line between professional and personal can really get. In the high-pressure world of fame and fortune, the need for safety is not optional, it's essential. Celebrities live under constant public scrutiny. Whether it's walking the red carpet, leaving a private jet, or simply grabbing a coffee, their presence draws attention. And attention can sometimes turn dangerous. That's why the elite turn to professionals, not just anyone in a black suit, but specialized security firms that have built their reputations on precision, discretion, and unwavering loyalty. These aren't companies you find on a billboard. You won't see flashy ads or catchy slogans. Their success lies in staying quiet, blending in, and knowing exactly what to do before a threat even becomes visible. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on three of the most respected names in celebrity protection: Gavin de Becker and Associates, Guardian Professional Security, and the World Protection Group. These firms don't just offer security, they offer peace of mind in a world that can feel like it's always watching. Let's start with Gavin de Becker and Associates, often referred to simply as GDBA. Founded over 40 years ago by Gavin de Becker himself, the firm has become a global leader in threat assessment and personal protection. De Becker, an expert in violence prediction, was one of the first to shift the focus of security from reactive to proactive. Instead of waiting for something to happen, his firm studies behavior patterns, analyzes threats, and uses psychological profiling to spot dangers before they escalate. What makes GDBA unique is its foundation in research and behavioral science. The company has worked with government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, and of course, some of the most famous people on the planet. Their approach isn't just about assigning a bodyguard to a client, it's about building a customized protection strategy. That includes everything from 24/7 monitoring, travel security, and on-site agents to digital threat detection and secure communications planning. In fact, GDBA has developed its own software for evaluating threats received online or by mail, which is now used by multiple law enforcement agencies. One of the reasons celebrities trust GDBA is because of its strict confidentiality and professionalism. You won't hear about which A-listers they protect, unless it comes out in the news. The firm operates in silence, always watching, never announcing itself. That kind of discipline is exactly what high-profile clients need. For people whose lives are constantly public, discretion is everything. Next up is Guardian Professional Security, one of the largest private security firms serving celebrities across the eastern United States. While GDBA built its legacy on psychological insights and West Coast clientele, Guardian focuses on full-service, boots-on-the-ground protection. Their team is made up of former military personnel, ex-law enforcement officers, and highly trained security specialists who understand not just physical defense, but also the psychology of high-pressure situations. Guardian Professional Security offers a wide range of services tailored specifically to celebrities. This includes personal bodyguards, security drivers, venue protection, travel coordination, event security, and even advanced scouting of locations before a celebrity arrives. What sets Guardian apart is their emphasis on blending in. Agents are trained to dress like assistants, blend with entourages, and work as quiet shadows rather than intimidating figures. This approach allows celebrities to live a more normal life without drawing unnecessary attention to their protection detail. The firm is also known for its extensive training programs. Every agent goes through regular drills, scenario-based simulations, and psychological readiness tests. The goal isn't just to protect the client, it's to anticipate problems and neutralize them before the client even notices. In an industry where one bad incident can go viral in minutes, Guardian's ability to think ahead has saved careers, reputations, and lives. In recent years, Guardian has also expanded its digital footprint, offering cybersecurity consulting and social media monitoring to protect celebrities from online threats. In today's digital age, a tweet or hacked email can be just as dangerous as someone lurking outside a gate. By monitoring online chatter and tracking potential stalkers through data analytics, the firm can intervene early and inform law enforcement when needed. Then we have the World Protection Group, often called WPG. This firm is a favorite among celebrities, CEOs, and royalty for one simple reason: discretion. WPG doesn't just provide bodyguards, they offer a complete lifestyle protection service. That means they manage everything from travel logistics and cybersecurity to aerial drone surveillance and remote monitoring. Their goal is to create a bubble of safety that moves with the client, no matter where they go. WPG is particularly known for its use of technology in executive protection. While most firms focus on traditional methods, WPG has integrated tools like real-time GPS tracking, encrypted communication systems, and threat-level dashboards to give both clients and agents a better understanding of potential risks. Their Total Protection Package includes real-time route planning, secure ground transport, private aircraft booking, and armed or unarmed bodyguards who operate under strict confidentiality agreements. One of their signature services is residential security planning, which involves doing a full analysis of a client's home to identify vulnerabilities, from camera blind spots to open Wi-Fi networks. The firm then installs custom solutions, including smart locks, AI-powered surveillance, and even panic rooms. For celebrities with young children or high public visibility, this kind of layered defense provides unmatched peace of mind. But what really sets WPG apart is their attention to personal detail. They keep detailed profiles on each client's preferences, from their favorite restaurants and safe hotels to allergies and emergency contacts, so that protection never feels intrusive or robotic. Their philosophy is simple: protection should feel like comfort, not confinement. These three firms, GDBA, Guardian, and WPG, represent the gold standard in celebrity protection. And while their methods may differ, their mission is the same: to make their clients feel safe enough to live fully. Because the truth is, fame can be isolating. Being constantly watched and judged takes a toll. For many celebrities, their bodyguards become more than just security, they become a source of emotional support, a calm presence in chaos, and sometimes, the only person they truly trust. That's why the role of a bodyguard is so complex. It requires more than muscle. It demands sensitivity, loyalty, and absolute discretion. And in rare cases, it opens the door to something deeper, something more human. A connection that goes beyond the job. In the next part of this video, we'll explore real-life cases where that connection turned into romance. Some of these stories made headlines. Others were hidden away from the public eye. But they all have one thing in common: they began in the shadow of danger, and grew into something surprisingly tender. Stay with us as we explore the emotional side of the bodyguard-client relationship. Because sometimes, when someone is hired to protect your life, they end up changing it. It's often said that love finds you when you least expect it, even in the most guarded places. In the world of celebrities, where trust is rare and privacy is a luxury, bodyguards hold a unique place. They're not just protectors. They're confidants, shadows, eyes that never leave, ears that hear everything. In some cases, they're the only people a celebrity can truly be themselves around. And sometimes, from this close and high-pressure proximity, something unexpected blooms: romance. In this section, we dive into real-life stories where the line between professional duty and emotional connection blurred. These relationships, some long-lasting and others fleeting, reveal just how human and vulnerable even the most famous people can be, especially when someone makes them feel safe in a world that rarely does. Let's begin with one of the most speculated relationships in royal history: Princess Diana and Barry Menachie. In the 1980s, Diana was more than just a princess, she was the most photographed woman on the planet. Her marriage to Prince Charles was troubled, and while the world saw a fairy tale, she lived a reality of loneliness and scrutiny. Barry Menachie, a former police officer assigned as Diana's royal protection officer, entered her life at a time when she was emotionally isolated. Though their relationship was never publicly confirmed, Diana hinted in private recordings that she had fallen deeply for him. She described Barry as her greatest love, someone who provided emotional support when she felt most alone. Their bond grew quickly, too quickly for royal standards. When rumors began to swirl about their closeness, Menachie was suddenly removed from his post and reassigned. Tragically, not long after, he died in a motorcycle accident. Diana always believed his death wasn't just a coincidence. The relationship, whether romantic or deeply platonic, had clearly crossed invisible boundaries that the palace couldn't tolerate. This story still haunts royal watchers to this day, not just because of the romance, but because of the questions it raised: what does love look like when it's forbidden? And how far will institutions go to control it? Now let's shift to a more modern and public example: Heidi Klum and Martin Kristen. After her high-profile split from singer Seal in 2012, supermodel and TV host Heidi Klum was seen more and more with her longtime bodyguard, Martin Kristen. Unlike the quiet whispers surrounding Diana and Barry, Heidi and Martin's relationship was openly acknowledged. Martin had worked with Klum's family for years, and by the time they were romantically linked, he was already deeply trusted, not just by Heidi, but also by her children. Their relationship became the talk of tabloids, especially because it blurred lines between employer and employee. But what made it resonate with many people was how natural it seemed. They were photographed doing everyday things: grocery shopping, walking with the kids, relaxing at the beach. It looked more like a quiet, real-life partnership than a celebrity headline. Heidi later explained in interviews that it felt right to be with someone she already trusted, someone who knew her world and understood the stress that came with it. Their relationship lasted nearly 2 years before they amicably split. And while it didn't last forever, it revealed how bodyguards often become part of a celebrity's inner circle, witnessing moments no one else sees, and sometimes becoming much more than just an employee. Another example, shorter but no less captivating, is Kim Kardashian and Shengo Dean. During an episode of her reality show Kourtney and Kim Take New York, fans got a rare look at the chemistry between Kim and her Australian bodyguard, Shengo. Tall, handsome, and with a warm presence, Shengo quickly captured viewers' attention, and apparently, Kim's as well. Their brief fling played out in front of the cameras, with romantic dinners and stolen kisses. It didn't last long, but it showed the world another angle of the celebrity bodyguard dynamic. Sometimes it's not just about protection, it's about presence. For someone like Kim, whose every move is choreographed and critiqued, being around someone who isn't part of the Hollywood machinery, someone grounded and attentive, can be incredibly refreshing. But what is it, really, that makes these relationships happen? At the core of it is proximity and pressure. Bodyguards are constantly close. They know the client's schedule, moods, fears, and vulnerabilities. They see the star at their best and worst. That kind of closeness breeds familiarity, and when that familiarity is paired with moments of fear, adrenaline, or emotional stress, bonds can deepen quickly. There's also trust, a rare and precious thing in celebrity life. Celebrities are often surrounded by people who want something from them. But a bodyguard's job is the opposite: to give, to protect, to ask for nothing in return. That dynamic creates a space where walls can come down. When you're constantly worried about being used or judged, the person who puts your safety above all else becomes more than just a colleague, they become a safe space. Another factor is emotional isolation. Many celebrities live very controlled, pressurized lives. They're told where to be, how to act, what to wear, and who to trust. It's a lonely existence, even with millions of followers. A bodyguard is often the one person they can vent to, laugh with, or simply sit in silence beside. Over time, that relationship can take on emotional intimacy, and in some cases, romantic attraction. But these relationships are not without their complications. Power dynamics, workplace ethics, and public scrutiny all come into play. There's often a question of whether the relationship is equal, especially when one person is technically the other's employee. In many cases, bodyguards who get involved romantically with a client are reassigned or leave the industry altogether. Privacy becomes even harder to maintain. And if the relationship ends, the consequences can ripple far beyond heartbreak, especially if the breakup becomes public. Despite all this, these stories remind us that love doesn't care about job titles. It finds its way in the most unlikely places, even in the backseat of an SUV, during a quiet walk between venues, or standing behind velvet ropes. Whether it's whispered, short-lived, or headline-making, romance between celebrities and their bodyguards taps into something deeply human: the desire to be seen, to be safe, and to be loved for who we are, not what the world thinks we are. And now that you've seen how real these emotional bonds can become, we're going to take things a step further. Up next, you'll experience a fictional love story, inspired by truth, grounded in realism, and filled with emotion. It's the story of Alex and Ryan, a celebrity and his bodyguard, both hiding behind masks of responsibility and fame, both slowly realizing that what they need most isn't just safety, it's each other. In the glittering world of fame and relentless public attention, personal security isn't just a necessity, it's a lifeline. Enter Alex Carter, an A-list celebrity whose charm and philanthropic endeavors have made him a household name. Despite his outward success, Alex's life is a delicate balancing act between public adoration and personal solitude. Assigned to ensure Alex's safety is Ryan Mitchell, a disciplined and reserved bodyguard with a distinguished military background. Ryan's stoic demeanor and unwavering commitment to his duty have earned him a reputation as one of the best in the business. His world is one of protocols and boundaries, where personal feelings have no place. The narrative unfolds when a credible threat against Alex surfaces, shaking the foundation of his seemingly secure existence. The nature of the threat is both personal and pervasive, leading to heightened security measures and thrusting Ryan into an even more integral role in Alex's daily life. As they navigate this treacherous landscape together, the lines between professional obligation and personal connection begin to blur. Ryan's steadfast presence becomes a source of comfort for Alex, who finds himself confiding in his protector more than he ever anticipated. Late-night conversations and shared silences forge a bond built on mutual respect and understanding. However, this growing closeness brings with it a storm of emotional conflict. Both men grapple with feelings that challenge their professional ethics and fear the repercussions of public scrutiny. The weight of their responsibilities and the potential fallout from their actions create a chasm of doubt and hesitation. The tension reaches its peak during a critical event that forces both Alex and Ryan to confront the depth of their emotions. In a moment where lives hang in the balance, pretenses are stripped away, leaving raw vulnerability exposed. This pivotal incident serves as a catalyst, compelling them to acknowledge their feelings and make a decision about their future together. This narrative delves into the complexities of human relationships set against the backdrop of celebrity and security. It explores themes of trust, vulnerability, and the courage it takes to embrace love in the face of adversity. Through Alex and Ryan's journey, we witness the transformative power of connection and the resilience required to navigate the delicate balance between duty and desire. In the world of close protection, the relationship between a client and their bodyguard is built on more than just logistics and security. It's a deeply psychological connection formed under pressure, stress, and often fear. These environments are unlike any other professional setting. They involve high stakes, emotional vulnerability, and the constant awareness that one wrong move could mean danger, or worse. Over time, this extreme proximity can create powerful psychological dynamics, some of which can lead to blurred lines between protection and personal attachment. Imagine this: a bodyguard is trained to take a bullet, to notice every suspicious movement in a crowd, to scan exits, read faces, and stay completely focused on their client's safety. Meanwhile, the client, whether a celebrity, public figure, or high-net-worth individual, is often surrounded by people who either want something from them or treat them like a brand, not a person. In that dynamic, the bodyguard becomes the only one who sees them fully, quietly absorbing their stress, shielding them from chaos, and in some cases, becoming the one person they can truly trust. This setup creates the perfect conditions for something known as the hero effect. The term refers to a psychological phenomenon where someone in distress or vulnerability begins to form emotional or romantic attachment to the person who saves or protects them. This isn't about manipulation or fantasy, it's about the brain's way of bonding under intense emotional circumstances. Think of it as a survival instinct blending with gratitude and trust. When someone consistently shows up for you, especially when your safety or life is at stake, it's only natural to begin seeing them in a different light. For the protector, there's also a deep emotional investment. While bodyguards are trained to be objective and emotionally detached, they spend long hours in close quarters with their clients. They learn their routines, sense their moods, and often provide comfort during stressful or painful moments. This level of intimacy, without the presence of romantic intent, can still mimic the foundations of emotional connection. In high-pressure situations, even the most disciplined guards can develop feelings of affection, care, or protectiveness that go beyond the job description. But here's where it gets complicated: these relationships must operate within strict ethical boundaries. Close protection agents are taught from day one that their job is not just physical, it's psychological. They're expected to remain emotionally neutral, to never exploit their access, and to avoid even the perception of inappropriate closeness. Most top-tier security firms have strict policies against fraternizing with clients for this very reason. Crossing that line, even unintentionally, can lead to termination, legal consequences, and the breakdown of the protective barrier they are hired to uphold. That said, emotional suppression in a high-intensity job comes at a cost. Just like first responders and military personnel, bodyguards can experience emotional fatigue, PTSD, and other mental health challenges. Being constantly alert, taking on the emotional weight of someone else's safety, and never letting their guard down, it's a heavy burden. This emotional load can create a deep need for connection, especially if the guard spends more time with the client than with their own family or friends. The client isn't immune to these pressures either. Celebrities, in particular, often deal with isolation, anxiety, and the constant feeling of being observed and judged. Their bodyguards are among the few people who don't want anything from them, who aren't trying to ride their fame or sell their stories. That kind of loyalty is rare. And in rare cases, it leads to a bond that feels more real than any other relationship in the client's life. Still, it's crucial to understand that even if mutual feelings develop, boundaries must be navigated with extreme care. Ethical questions loom large. Is the relationship truly consensual, or shaped by the power imbalance? Is it love, or the illusion of safety and affection during vulnerability? What happens to the working dynamic if the romantic one doesn't last? And can both parties maintain professionalism if their personal relationship ends? Some firms allow for transfers or reassignments if a romantic relationship does develop, but many will end the working relationship entirely to avoid conflicts of interest. This may seem harsh, but it's designed to protect both parties. After all, in a world where seconds matter, emotional distractions can be dangerous. Interestingly, some psychologists suggest that these relationships, while risky, aren't inherently unethical, as long as there is full transparency, mutual respect, and a clear transition from professional to personal interaction. The key lies in timing and intent. If a bodyguard leaves their position and only then pursues a relationship, it's considered less problematic. But when emotions surface while still actively protecting someone, things become ethically gray. These emotional dynamics have been the subject of movies, novels, and now even real-life headlines. But beyond the drama, they highlight something deeper about human nature, when trust is paired with protection and vulnerability. Meets empathy, connection is almost inevitable. Whether it turns into friendship, love, or simply a lasting bond of respect, the relationship between a bodyguard and a client is one of the most intimate professional partnerships that exist. In the next chapter of this video, we'll return to the fictional story of Alex and Ryan, now armed with a better understanding of the psychological pressures they're facing. Because their journey, though fictional, is rooted in truths that shape real lives. And as we'll see, when love and duty collide, the choice is never simple, but always human. When it comes to celebrity relationships, nothing stays private for long. The moment a public figure is seen getting close to someone new, especially someone outside of Hollywood's inner circle, speculation begins. And when that someone is a bodyguard, the media takes special interest. Why? Because it flips the script. It's not two actors or musicians dating, it's a superstar and the person paid to protect them. That power dynamic, the secrecy, the potential drama, it's irresistible to tabloids and entertainment news. Over the years, we've seen headlines sensationalize these types of relationships. Words like secret romance, forbidden love, or bodyguard turned boyfriend often dominate the narrative. Even when the relationship is completely consensual and natural, media tends to frame it as scandalous or shocking. This portrayal can put pressure on both parties, especially the bodyguard, who may not be used to the spotlight. In many cases, the media forgets that these are real people, not characters in a movie. Now add another layer, a same-sex relationship between a celebrity and their bodyguard. While society has come a long way in terms of LGBTQ+ visibility and acceptance, public attitudes can still be a mixed bag. Support is strong in many places, especially among younger audiences and progressive media outlets. But judgment, skepticism, and even backlash can still surface, particularly in more conservative circles. When a high-profile figure enters a same-sex relationship, especially one that breaks traditional roles like dating someone from their security detail, the scrutiny can double. Questions about authenticity, power imbalance, or PR stunts might arise. Some people still struggle to separate the person from the persona, and any deviation from their public image, especially if it's not what fans expected, can lead to harsh opinions. Despite that, there's also something beautiful happening, growing support for authenticity. More and more, audiences are rallying around celebrities who live openly and love freely. People appreciate realness in a world full of filters and branding. When someone takes the risk to love honestly, regardless of gender or status, they often find a loyal base that cheers them on, not in spite of the relationship, but because of it. But this doesn't make the internal conflict any easier. Celebrities often have to weigh their personal happiness against their public image. Coming out with a same-sex partner, or any partner who doesn't fit the traditional celebrity mold, can mean risking endorsement deals, brand relationships, and fan support. The fear of losing what they've built can cause many to keep their relationships private or even deny them. And that's where courage comes in. Because the balance between image and identity is one of the hardest parts of fame. It's why relationships like Alex and Ryan's, even when fictional, feel powerful. They show us that sometimes love isn't just about attraction, it's about choosing truth over fear. And in a world where appearances mean everything, choosing love can be the most rebellious act of all. In the world of fame and flashing cameras, we often forget that behind the designer suits, red carpet appearances, and carefully curated images are real people, people with fears, hopes, and hearts that long for connection just like anyone else. This story, and the real-life parallels we've explored, reminds us that even in the most guarded lives, love has a way of slipping through the cracks. Throughout this video, we've uncovered the quiet, intense world of celebrity security. A world where bodyguards aren't just muscle, they're confidants, shields, and sometimes, the only person a star can fully trust. We've looked at top private security firms that operate behind the scenes, protecting some of the most recognizable faces in the world. We've touched on real romances that bloomed between bodyguards and the celebrities they protected. And we dove into the fictional yet emotionally rich story of Alex and Ryan, a tale of two men who found something real in a place neither expected, each other. But beneath the glamour and drama lies a deeper message, that love doesn't follow rules. It doesn't ask for permission or pause to check job titles. It grows in silence, in moments of safety and shared struggle, in conversations whispered between security sweeps. Whether it's a celebrity and a protector, or two people from completely different worlds, love finds a way. Still, these connections don't come without cost. As we've seen, the psychological dynamics of close protection relationships are intense. They're built in high-pressure environments where emotions run high and vulnerability is unavoidable. Crossing the line between duty and desire means entering a world of ethical questions, public scrutiny, and personal risk. It's not always a fairy tale, but sometimes, it's worth it. And when same-sex love enters the picture, the stakes can rise even higher. Societal expectations and media narratives can paint these relationships as controversial or confusing. But that's why they matter even more. Because every story like Alex and Ryan's helps expand the narrative of what love looks like, breaking stereotypes and showing that it can blossom in the most unexpected places. So as we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect. Think about the people behind the headlines. Think about the bodyguards who live lives of discipline and sacrifice. Think about the stars who crave connection beyond the fame. And most of all, think about the courage it takes to love, openly, honestly, and in spite of everything. If you've enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We bring you more than stories, we bring you the heart behind them. And if this video moved you, share it with someone who believes that love is universal, no matter where it begins. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and never underestimate the power of connection.